Hey guys, what's up? It's Bartemis here. It's time for another bushcraft with Bartemis, and it's been a long time. The reason is, lockdown happened. Had this great thing going, and I was doing episodes of bushcraft with Bartemis, going to different areas of native bush around the region, and then lockdown came, and all of a sudden we weren't allowed to go very far. So I did a lot of exploring around my local neighbourhood. Went down many alleyways, bikers. You will have seen a couple of those videos. But all that's over now. And I thought it was high time I went back into the bush and took you through some things. So today we're on the sledge track. Sledge track is part of the Kahutarawa Reserve. It's actually part of a forest park called Arapuki Forest Park. And there's a lot of mountain bike tracks here as well. So it's a very popular area, as you might have noticed from the car park shots back there. This is the Kahutarawa stream, and this over here is Black Bridge. Not far from here is a school camp actually called Brown House, and it's a popular place for local primary schools to go and camp. Kind of get your wilderness experience, and it's not very far from the city. Look at that little tributary there flowing into this main stream. So I don't know what these things are called. You see them everywhere around here. I need to do some research. In fact, I might put the name of them down the bottom now. There you go, that's what they're called. When you're in the bush, you should always stick to marked tracks. That's why I'm not. This is one of the more popular features of the sledge track. It's called Moss Rock. It's a rock that's covered in moss, and it's got a lot of water flowing over it. Hence why the moss is growing on it. You can't actually tell that it's a rock, but I suspect if you poked it you'd find that it's solid. The thing with New Zealand native bush is that there's not very many deciduous trees that are native to New Zealand. In fact, I'm not even sure if there are any. So the bush in winter, which is the season we're in at the moment, doesn't really look that different from the bush in summer, but there is a noticeable difference, and that is you start seeing these kind of fungi. See, I think these here are called tree ear, and fungi only grows when it's really wet and when it's reasonably cold. So that's what these guys here are. You wouldn't see them in summer. If you come back here in summer, they will not be here. But yeah, in winter they are. As you can hear, hiking in winter is quite a different experience to hiking in summer. First of all, this streams up quite a bit. It's very brown looking. These rapids down here are rather noisy, and I just had to work our way across this quite large puddle here. I actually just kind of climbed over that rail thing when I was at Bartemis handrail as biker. I really do feel like I'm pushing the limits of what I can achieve with a pair of running shoes. I really needed hiking boots for today, but nonetheless, we'll carry on. This is something a bit more serious. This is Argyle Rocks. It's maybe a picnic spot. Not sure. Certainly wouldn't want to be in that water at the moment though. And again, more strange fungi. These things here in this tree. I don't know what they are. They're very white. Well, these are Fold's Falls. And I might be out of luck here. Because straight in front of me, there's like a river. Well, it's not a river, it's a very small creek flowing from the bottom of Fold's Falls across the path. I've tried to see whether there's ways that I can get across here, but Like, even if I put my foot in here, oh, actually, that's not so bad. Maybe I'll give it a go. I'm not ready to go back yet. Take that, Folds Falls. You have just died at the hand of Bartemis Bikser. I've made it across. More random fungi things. So these steps are called Claudia's Steps. From memory, it gets quite steep from here. It's probably nothing compared to number 1 line, but nonetheless it's still a bit of a climb. Let's see if I'm right. I was right. Claudia Steps weren't really the problem though. The problem was after Claudia Steps, it sort of went up and then down and up and then down. And then up. Where I am now is, I feel like I'm at the top of a ridge somewhere, and I'm kind of thinking, when I look at how many steps I've done, 4,697. I was aiming for 7.5 in total. I was probably at about 1,000. I got to get back to the car, so yeah, we're not going to be too far off 7.5k by the time I get back. So I'm thinking I might turn back at this point, just have a short drink stop, and then make my way back. By the way, accompanying me on this journey is a new school GPS, and it's telling me roughly how far back to the car. It's 1.46 kilometers. So there's a bit of an exercise here. I've deliberately walked off the track. Now, I wouldn't recommend you try this. I'm doing it to see just how difficult it is to find the track when it's not marked. So there's the river, a stream rather, and there is where I am. There's just no tracks anywhere. The track is somewhere in the direction that I'm filming. So let's go. Let's see how hard it is to find our way back. And there's the track. So yeah, it wasn't that hard after all. But as I say, I wouldn't recommend doing it. This is not far from the track. It's not a very good exercise, not a good demonstration of how easy it is or isn't. But it was interesting though, because it didn't take me very far to feel like I was completely miles from the track. It's just amazing how many different types of mushrooms there are here. Look at this tiny thing here, and then down here we've got these guys. I have a suspicion that those are actually really poisonous. In fact, you should always assume that any mushroom is poisonous, but yeah. So you know where we went. We're here, and we went all the way up there, Argyle Rocks, and it's, I don't know, probably somewhere, probably Viewpoint where it was highest, I'd say. And you can see that this is a much bigger area than we explored. You can do basically a whole day walk if you really want, going up there and doing that loop. Anyway, this has been Bartemis Bikser. I felt it was time I did another one of these, and yeah, I'm not going to say comment, like and subscribe, and here's why. Because if you like this video, then you're going to like it. You're going to write a comment and you're going to subscribe. I don't need to tell you to do that. I think if I tell people to do that and they subscribe, then they're just not really authentic subscriptions, are they? They're just people who have just done what they're told, and that's a bit dumb. So, yeah, this has been Bartemis Bikser. We'll catch you again next time.